This NBA game is like about 95% mental and about 5% physical.
He didn't go Brad Pitt, Legends of the Fall, on a 2-year vacation and decide to restart his life.
The league gonna get their ass for that. I already know.
Did you think I was going to end this segment without interrogating you about the 21 that you left off?
God damn, you can't hit the side of a barn with a beach ball 2 feet in front of it. You're trash, Wallace.
As always, we like to lead off the program with a moment in time. Today, Sheed, our moment in time is February 20th, 2001. What happened in the world of Rasheed Wallace, February 20th, 2001?
Portland.
Mm-hmm.
Was it? Are you talking about the light little melee that we had with Golden State? Could that
No,
possibly be it?
No, but I feel like now that you said it, I need to ask about this. I don't remember you getting into a little altercation. Golden State? What happened that day, even before we run the tape?
Oh man. So we beat them on a buzzer beater, and Bonzi and Chris Mills had a little beef, and benches cleared, and the fans was throwing drinks and everything on us, and it got so heated. Chris Mills was so heated that he had stopped a bus. Like, had a couple of his homies, they pulled their cars up in front of the bus to where we couldn't leave, telling Bonzi to come on out, y'all come on out now, this and that. We had to get the extra police to come and take us to the airport.
This was pre-Malice at the Palace as well. So the days of fuck around and find out, that meme, that graph, that was not a thing just yet. And people had the audacity to roll up. This was in Oakland too, I assume?
Yeah. The old stadium, not the new one. A lot of our fans probably know the Warriors being in the new stadium. But no, this is Oakland Stadium, the one right next to the baseball field. Yeah.
Okay. I guess it was like that some shit happens on the court at the professional level and you got fans cutting you off on the way to the airport. I mean, do the players want to get off the bus in that case, or are you all just like, go away, stop throwing shit?
No, we chill. Our team security and our people's like, man, y'all just maintain, we got another game, this and that. And our bottom line was, we'll see him again.
All right. Fair enough. Till another day, until the Palace at Auburn Hills, there was no malice on this bus. Let's put it that way. But all right, February 20th, 2001 was...
You got me stuck there.
Yeah, this was the night of your career high of 42 points. I think we alluded to this earlier in the season, but it's against the Nuggets. Mm-hmm. We were asking, what is when you said, I'm not someone that's really like looking to score the ball that often. I do what's needed that night. But you once upon a time had 42 points before the days of NBA scoring inflation, in which 40 points are every single night. These final scores were 90 to 85 if it was a high scoring game. So 42 is a lot. So everyone remembers their season high, every conversation that I've had, but is the bench telling you like, yo, Sheed, you're 2 away, you're 5 away, you're 2 away from your career high, or you're just out there playing, and if it happens, it happens? What was going on this night?
No, we're just out there playing. You see from looking at the guys out there as that Dice, Rafe LaFrance. I definitely couldn't. It wasn't no night off against Antonio McDyess. I definitely tell you that now, because to me, in my book, against power forwards, it was 4 of them that I mainly had to go up against, and I had to be top notch. McDyess, C-Wed, Duncan, and Garnett. So those were my nights. But no, to be honest, man, I remember this night, but it doesn't really stand out to me as like, oh man, I had everything going this night, this and that, da 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 da. It was because I'm not one to look at the score sheet after the game. My whole overall thing is wins and losses. It don't matter if I could have scored 0 points that night, long as we got the win. That's my whole thing. And so I never really thought about it too much. I guess after this night, tell you the truth.
Did you ever? There's some players. So between LaFrance, McDyess, I see Nick Van Exel out there, I believe, for the Nuggets. And people forget that McDyess
was John Leonard.
Yeah, Vashawn Leonard's out there too. Some big names. And that was Vashawn Leonard right after his Miami Heat days as well in his prime. That we kind of like forget about Antonio McDyess for a second because I was alive when the Knicks traded their entire franchise to acquire the man. He was that dominant of a player. And I don't want to say he was the original Brandon Roy and someone that had a major knee injury that cut off their career because he, to his credit, McDyess had a stellar career before his injury. He was, all-star, someone that you circled on the calendar. And if that's someone that's out there that, right, he was one of those guys for you. Like I got McDyess tonight and I got to make sure I'm laced up.
Definitely, especially when he was when we were rookies during that time, because he played with Dikembe Mutombo and Rodney Rogers, and a lot of people might not know Rodney Rogers, a crafty lefty from the Raleigh-Durham area, went to Wake Forest, had a lengthy career in the NBA. But T-Top, Rodney Rogers, the husky dude. So imagine, and he was athletic, just as athletic as McDyess. So imagine them three. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, shit, all right, this no cakewalk. Again, like I said. So, yeah, definitely had to circle that game with McDyess. Even when McDyess was in Phoenix, even when McDyess was in New York, my thing was I'm glad me and Dice played together for about, 2-3 years when we were in Detroit. So, but, yeah, man, Antonio McDyess, man, and here's the thing about McDyess. He could shoot. Now, he wasn't a three-point shooter. But you had to respect his mid-range because he can come pick and pop, pick and roll. He'll give you that jab step, boom, pull up for that J 15, 18-footer. So you got to respect his jump shot and his athleticism, man. He could have competed in the dunk contest and probably won it, but that's not his style. He would rather dunk on you opposing to getting some dunk contest.
He was a violent power dunker that I would say was the precursor to what many people know as prime Amari Stoudemire, a big man with that type of violent bounce that would explode, meet you at the rim, operate in mid-range.
Well, you could always... A quick McDyess story. We played together in the Magic Johnson All-Star game in the Palace when the Palace was pretty much in its new heyday, right? And so, we're in there practicing and everything. So we shooting around and shot goes up. I go for the rebound and I think I'm high. Out of nowhere, all I see is a shadow. Dice comes, dunks on everybody, dunks on me. I'm on his team. Granted, it's practice, but I'm on his team. He dunked on me. He dunked on one of his other teammates and like 3 other dudes. Like, yo. I was like, I don't mind that right there.
You don't mind getting dunked on if it's someone that's tip slamming from your own team. But
my team.
Yeah. There's a lot. Listen, man, a lot of players from your era that I've spoken to either on camera or just in casual conversation. Like there's always that one guy from the era, whether it was Rod Strickland before it. McDyess sounds like he was just one of those guys that when he showed up to the gym, very Marvin Harrison Sr. on the Colts, like never known as Randy Moss or Jerry Rice, but the guy that's on the field that always has everyone's attention because the what if is he's just not always been out there, maybe because of where he played or the injuries or whatever. But Antonio McDyess, did not expect that name to come up on this episode, but that's why we do it, because Sheed is a treasure trove of stories like that.
Y'all look him up.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of film out there. Let's pivot to present day, where at the time of filming this, LeBron James and the Lakers, we've spoken about. Sheed has been on team. The Lakers will be fine. The Lakers will be fine. And at the forefront of that, spearheading this team, is LeBron James. In these last 10 games, he's averaging almost 37 points, 8 assists, 8 rebounds. He's leading the league in all of those categories. Sheed, he's in year 20. And I don't mean to make every show about LeBron, but now it feels appropriate because AD's coming back soon. The Lakers are coming to 500. There's a chance that they could be in the top 6 by the end of the week. And I think there's naturally going to be a conversation about LeBron James MVP if he keeps – there's no way he can keep this up. He's also playing 35, 37 minutes a night, which he even says, I can't do this forever, but I'm doing it right now because I have to. AD's going to come back and siphon away some of that usage as he should. But I feel like we need to take a moment to just appreciate it's such a cliche at this point, but it is greatness at this stage in his career. How's he still doing it? She talked to me about what you've seen from LeBron this week.
I would probably, excuse me, I would probably say it's motivation. It's one thing when you're a veteran and you've played multi-years in this league, you don't want to go out a loser. Now, it's one thing if, okay, you lose in the playoffs. All right, we made the playoffs. Shit, we had that shot. But to be that veteran and not even make the playoffs, and it's like, your years are dwindling down, that door is closing. That door opportunity is closing, and it's like, shit, all right, as he said, I got to go out here and do it. Now, he has, there's a few games that Russ has helped him with that. Some nights when Brian might have been off, Russ triple-double in it, and, this and that. And like you just mentioned, AD will be back. The young fella, what's the big fella in the Thomas? What's Thomas' last name?
Thomas Bryant. He's been Thomas Bryant.
He's been playing pretty well too. He's been a good rebounder for them. He's been playing solid. So now when AD comes back, I think, again, I said this months ago, give it some time. It's the Lakers. Give it some time. They're going to be there. It's a veteran ball club. It's the 57 Chevy. You can't go out in the middle of winter and just crank that 57 Chevy up and thinking you're going to get up and go. No, you got to go out there. You got to massage her, play with her, and pump that gas in her a little bit. And when she start up, all right, then you can go back in the house and let her run for about 20, 30 minutes, right? Well, it's the same way pretty much with a lot of NBA veterans. You're in the beginning of the season, you're not going to get all that, as I mentioned before. But now it's that time to start to heat up, to start to warm up. And that's what they're doing, playing together. And as you mentioned him locking down on D, well, it's something that they got to do. It's a lot of great wing players that he has to play against now that's younger. That's going to take that challenge. A lot of them look up to him, and then it's a lot of them that want to go at his throat. So he definitely like, all right, look. And that fire, that competitiveness inside of him is like, all right, I ain't gonna let these young motherfuckers think they just gonna sit up here and kick our ass every damn night. All right, let's go. Come on. Let's get this shit going. And that's how it is. You take a little bit of pride in that. That's just how the league is because what was it? It was a little meme out or something like that a couple of days ago or last week with Jabari Smith talking about you played against my pop.
Hey, you played against my dad. Your first NBA game ever. Really? Sacramento. You feel old, don't you?
Like, I tell people too, like, don't say that too loud, young boy. But that's what's happening. Is that league is becoming younger, so he's taking that challenge. So, and that's what's happening. Also, I think it's him trying to get that scoring title. In the back of his mind, that's what he wants. Of course, he wants to make the playoffs, and he thinks that team can definitely win another ring. But in the back of his mind, I'm pretty sure that's there because, you're so close to it.
He's going to pass Kareem, and I didn't even think maybe he just wants the scoring title to make a point because he went so many years with undoubtedly, unanimously being the best basketball player on earth, but he didn't win the MVP for a couple of reasons. We've spoken about this, but it's not the best player. It's the most valuable player, and it's a season-to-season thing. So the same way Michael Jordan didn't win it every single year. Karl Malone got it once because I think there was some voter fatigue. Whatever the reason is, if LeBron decides to say, I'm in year 20, I'm at this age, I'm going to go out there and get the scoring title, just a massive middle finger to everyone out there just to prove it that I can still do it. He's the one man on earth capable of doing so. And I don't mean to bring up bad memories, but it's a pinch me type moment now as I think about it out loud, because that Detroit Pistons game in the Eastern Conference Finals where he scored 25 straight points to close out that game against you guys. That was in 2006 or 2007. Yeah, that was 16 years ago. 16 years ago. And he's playing at that level, if not better right now. And we're in 2023. I don't know how anyone can do anything but tip your hat at this point. 16 years. And it's not, he didn't take a decade off. He didn't go Brad Pitt Legends of the Fall on a 2-year vacation and decide to restart his life. This man has been playing basketball playoffs, finals, and Olympic team for 2 straight decades. on 40 minutes
Yeah.
per night, average.
Well,
And
as you get older, you get smarter. You know, he lost some of his athleticism. We all know that, but you pick up little tricks and little tips here and there because you've been out there for so long. You earned so many minutes. You earned so many hours out there on that floor. So you pick up tips and tricks, and then you know who you're playing against out there. So little shit might work against them. It might not work against, another 10, 12, or 14-year veteran. But that's part of this game. That's where it's at with this game, to be honest. This NBA game is like about 95% mental and about 5% physical. Because if I can, again, Kevin Garnett, I think one of the things KG always said, if I can get at you before that ball gets thrown up, I got you. Because now every little thing, every little shot, every little defensive possession, every little offensive possession, it's going to be a little bit more intense. You're going to be like, fuck. And then, guys going to be talking shit, this and that. But, man, yeah, it's I'm telling you what I think it is, in my opinion. Now, I could be wrong. I could be wrong because I'm not in that man's head. But I think it's definitely like, look, I got to pep my game up, step it up defensively, step it up here on offense. I got to do it. And so what's the one thing we always say as veterans in our craft? I'm not going to talk it. I'm going to lead by example. He ain't sitting up here saying, man, I'm going to go out here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to have 50 tonight, this and that. Da, 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 da. He ain't saying that. He's just going out there leading by example. And the guys are starting to follow.
Well, he's leading by example, and he's clearly doing something well because as of about an hour or so ago, the Lakers decided to cash in a lot of their second-round picks for the next decade in exchange for a rookie that's fallen out of a rotation in Rui Hachimura. But they're not making that move unless Rob Pelinka and the Lakers believe that we still have this guy at the peak of his powers. We can't waste this season. They wouldn't have that mentality. And to watch him go out there on the road, at home, and he's making it very clear that I don't want to do this, but I will if I have to. And I know this won't help us in the long term. There will be some diminishing returns at some point. For them to go out there and trade for some help on a team that I could make the case they should just, play it out as is because you're all in with Westbrook regardless. It's a testament to just how special he is that it was able to convince the front office that we need to go out there and make a deal. And that's the way that I see it. I know the business behind it. They'll have, if Rui ends up being a nice addition to the Lakers rotation, they have an option to extend him as a part of rookie restricted free agency and things like that. So it makes the trade makes sense, but they are not making that trade unless LeBron is simply this brilliant. Yep.
It makes sense on one end, but on the other end, it doesn't make sense because now, the Lakers don't have any picks in the next couple of drafts because they're taking it's always a gamble.
But LeBron doesn't care about that. LeBron doesn't care. I know. He's like, I don't care about first round picks. I need to win right now. Right now. It's been like that for a decade. Yeah. He will drain your entire franchise sheet of every asset they have. And then he may end up leaving and you're left in ruin, but that's not my problem. I'm not here to build for the future. I'm here to win championships right now. Maybe he's earned, it's not the best long-term strategy, but when you have this guy and this power that he brings, you're all in every season, no matter what. So I don't blame the Lakers for making the move. It's probably not the best long-term strategy, but the Lakers have an advantage that Cleveland doesn't. You know what it is? It says Lakers on the front of the jersey. It's in the city of Los Angeles, and it's still always going to be an attractive location for unrestricted free agents. It's just a luxury that they have. They are the privileged NBA team in a lot of different ways. Another not topic, but another thing going on in the NBA right now that I've noticed, and I want to get your thoughts on, is the Memphis Grizzlies, who are not in first place, but at the top of the Western Conference. They clearly look like the class of the West, team with their most shit together, as everyone in the West has a problem. There is no front runner. There is no dominant death lineup in Golden State. You know who's going to be representing the conference in the finals. The West is wide open. And this Grizzlies team has a lot of volatile personalities. People love John Morant because he is a must-see TV. It's like watching a prize fighter and you're waiting for the big knockout blow. But at the same time, they talk a lot of shit. They talk a lot of shit on the internet. People call them corny. You've got Dillon Brooks getting into fights with Shannon Sharpe courtside halftime at the Lakers game, and they're becoming this lightning rod of content, at least to discuss. So, what have you seen from the Grizzlies? Do you like their heel turn? Do you buy that they can be the next? I compared them to the NWO black and white from the WCW days with Hulk Hogan. You know, they had all the heels assembled in one little gang there. What do they need to do other than just talk shit to get that real equity in being the NBA's newest villains?
And to be honest, I don't even see them as villains. You know how I look at them? I look at them as who was it? Emilio Estevez, Charlie Sheen, Lou Diamond Phillips, and it's one more. I'm missing one more actor, but they remind me of the Young Guns. You know what I'm saying? They the regulators. They remind me of the Young Guns. Hey, like, look, hey, here we are. We're hot shit. Yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit of shit. We've all done it. We've all done it. It's just now in the fact of this social media age, it's a little bit more magnified. But man, you think we didn't talk shit when I was in Portland? Me, Bonzi, Jermaine O'Neal, when we was going always getting beat by them damn Lakers in the conference finals or whatever. Mm-hmm. But we was out there talking shit too, and that's how I see this Grizzlies team. You know what I'm saying? This is now, are they championship caliber at the moment? No, I think they're missing a piece or two. You know what I'm saying, to maybe put them over the hump. But once you start to get acclimated with being in the playoffs, it's like, all right, that ain't shit now. So now our next goal is conference finals. All right, so you make it a year or two, and after that, like, all right, this ain't shit. So now y'all know what we got, and I think that's the steps that they're trying to take. But I'm with them talking shit now. As far as talking shit with the fans or whatever, my thing. The league gonna get their ass for that. I already know. The league gonna get their ass for that. I'll let y'all know that now. But my thing is, here it is. I like talking shit to the fans too, but you can't get personal and you can't take jokes personal because that's all it is, back and forth. If you shooting like shit and the fan be like, oh damn, you can't hit the side of a barn with a beach ball 2 feet in front of it. You're trash, Wallace. And my comeback, it ain't, man, fuck you, my nigga, No, my comeback, damn, you might be right, but shit, why don't you come try to do it? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You got to go back at it, have fun with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind the interaction with the fans, but you can't make it personal. And I think that's what they doing on a couple of aspects with, again, as you just said, the social media and courtside with interacting with the fans. Plus, shit, I think that's the wrong motherfucker that you want to fuck with right there, Shannon Sharpe. Damn.
So,
that's a big ass dude.
To your point, I think they were just talking shit about because Shannon's a big LeBron fan and T. Morant is John Morant's dad, and then Steven Adams comes over and it becomes this whole thing. I think it was blown out of proportion from the start, and they ended up hugging it out anyway because it was just two people talking their shit. But now that you brought it up, the same way that John Morant goes on camera and says, nobody in the West worries me. And then I think it was Malika Andrews was giving the interview. Like, wait a second. What about the Warriors? And he's like, nah, like he didn't say this word for word, but he was like, we've dealt with them in the past and we can deal with them. We're not so worried about them anymore. To your point that, you know what, they maybe should have won that playoff series last year if Ja was healthy. They probably think that way, but they didn't. They haven't yet. So for them to kind of already have this air about them that we're the team to beat in the Western Conference is starting to rub people the wrong way. But now that you brought it up, them talking shit about the Warriors feels a lot like, so were you out there talking shit to Shaq after they were three-peating and beating you guys in the conference finals every single season?
Man, out there, because we played them so much. Yeah, they won the championship. So, you definitely get them. They get them. They respect, all right, they the champs, this and that. But, man, so fucking what? I'm coming at this a whole new year. I'm coming at your ass. Yeah, big fella, come on. You can come get some of this too. And then Shaq coming right back down. All right, don't make me punish y'all. All that. Yeah, we got talking shit back and forth. It's a whole new season. I'm going to talk my shit. But here's the thing. I was always want to talk my shit and back it up. That's what the Grizzlies got to do. They talking they shit. You know what I'm saying? They got everybody hot with them. They a little hot topic right now. But they got to just back it up. If they back it up, that's how you shut everybody up.
Yeah.
And then, you could talk more shit. But you just got to back it up. The more shit you talk, the more you got to back it up.
So let me follow up with this, because one of the biggest shit talkers on the Grizzlies is, Ja Morant is the front man for this, but Dillon Brooks is Memphis's version of Draymond Green, Bruce Bowen, Dennis Rodman, the guy that every championship team has to have someone willing to do the dirty work,
exactly,
and be the shield against what the true warrior is behind it. And Dillon Brooks is that guy. He gets in your ear. He takes on the most difficult defensive assignments. He's an absolute dog in the trenches, someone that you love playing alongside. But there is a caveat here, because he's in a contract year, and he's not someone that's just Bruce Bowen catch and shoot, or Draymond, give him credit. We make fun of him because he doesn't shoot enough. He's out there setting screens, dribble handoffs. Dillon Brooks, every night you look at the box score, this man's putting up 17, 18, 21 shots a night. And even Grizzlies fans are like, we love you, dude, but someone needs to say the quiet part out loud. And it's that you are not good enough to be leading this team in field goal attempts every single night, or being in second behind Ja Morant. So the biggest enemy for the Grizzlies, I think, may end up being themselves, the same way the Celtics' biggest enemy is their own inability to stop turning the ball over. The Grizzlies, having Dillon Brooks out here, thinking he's a little bit better than he is, because I haven't seen anything from him that would make me feel good about him leading the team in field goal attempts in these big games. But when he goes ISO and the ball doesn't even touch Jaren Jackson Jr. or Ja Morant's hands, and it's Dillon Brooks out there launching up some bullshit, you can hear the cringe in the crowd, like, oh no, here we go again. This guy thinks he's on one. How do you bring him back down to earth properly? Because you're supposed to be his ally, not his enemy.
The best way to bring him to reality is show him. And that's what film is. One thing we always say in sports, especially basketball, is the camera don't lie. You could say that, man, coach, I was down in the defensive position, or, I thought I was open. It was a good shot. All right, let's watch the film. Watch the film. The film don't lie. So on that, you have not only the coach, but also with Ja, as you just said, spearheading that Grizzly team. He also got to say something to him. All right, we know you in contract year, but damn, dog. All right, come on now. You can't be sitting up here hoisting up all these shots. Take them to the rim. Go to the line. That's how you go ahead and build your money up. Pick up your foul shot percentage. You out here hoisting, thinking you got that real green light, like, a couple of other dudes on the team. Yo, you don't, because they can get you up out of here. That's why, I think he's trying to become that defensive catalyst, as you just said, that Draymond Green for them, because to make it a little hard for management to get rid of him, because, all right, yeah, I know. And I'm pretty sure he realizes he's putting up a lot of shit shots. Because that's what it is sometimes. A lot of shit shots. When you putting up that many and you going like, 8 for 17, 6 for like 21, 22, yeah, shit like that. It's shit shots. And it's, you're trying to catch a flow. No, catch a flow, get that rebound, push the ball, go to the hole. If you ain't got nothing in the hole, kick it out and let them run that offense. Let Ja do his thing, or run the play, whatever it may be. But yeah, it's the wrong time to take a lot of things personal to try to get your shit. You're going to get paid either way. He's going to get paid either way, if it's with Memphis or if it's with somebody else. But here's the thing. You got to think about, okay, if it's with somebody else, well, damn, I can't go to another ball club and do this same thing. This is definitely not going to happen. The coach either going to say something, or, the other players on that team going to step up and say something. And so that's where that respect level comes into play at. So if he respects Ja, if he respects the coach, management, or whoever the hierarchies is on that team, all right, I'm going to calm that shit down, fake it, put it on the floor, right, left, pass it, get a layup, go to the hole, instead of just out there hoisting, because that's easy.
That's a good answer, because I agree with you. I don't feel like the huddle in the heat of a fourth quarter where everyone's emotional and adrenaline is pumping, and you look at your boy and you're like, stop shooting. Like, that's not good. That's just going to make him want to shoot more based on Dillon Brooks' personality. But it sounds like the proper way to go about this is in the film room.
It got to be that respect level. Yeah, he got to see it. You got a dog. And look, as a homie, because now I think one of the things that the guys got, they got film on their phone. So when you hanging out somewhere with a dog. Hold on, let me see if I could. Hey, look at this right here, and you tell me if this is a good player or not. But here's the other thing. You're not shooting him down because I love your energy on defense. That's where you pumping him up at. I love your energy on defense. I love the energy that you bring on that side of the ball. But come on, dog. We had this talk before. We had this talk. And at that respect level. And then, you have some all-stars who will come at you like that. Some all-stars will, and, leaders on that team will be like, hey, yo, stop shooting the fucking ball. Like, pass that bitch.
KG probably would.
Man, for real. Like, come on now. Like, you out here fucking up, taking a bad shot. How you sitting up here, you double pumping with two dudes on you? Pass the ball.
Well, TBD on Dillon Brooks and the Grizzlies. I think it's great for the NBA that there's more villains than I don't like Kumbaya. I like teams that don't like each other. The Suns, the Grizzlies, the Lakers are always basketball. Yeah, it's good for content. It's good as a neutral viewer when there's something to either root for or root against. It's good for the product in terms of discussions. So I'm certainly not against it. The Grizzlies are making a case as to the next up and coming, like, flexing their muscles, even though they may not have the credentials to do so. And while this may have sounded like a Dillon Brooks bashing session, as I'm talking about Josh Smith bricks against the rim for Dillon Brooks, it's not meant to be, because again, Dillon Brooks does so many things well.
No, it's not a bashing at all.
No. But this is going to lead into my next topic here, is about the man, Mondo, that you have complimented a couple of times on this previous show, has just set the Carolina program school record for rebounds in a career. That is, considering who has played there in the past and who he just took the trophy from, Tyler Hansborough, who was there to give him the game ball. You do anything that leads Carolina in any category, it deserves its own segment on this show. And the two of us being Carolina guys, your player, I was just a fan, but what do you have to say to our guy who has gone above and beyond to whether he's hurt, he's available to play every night? It feels like a guaranteed 20 rebounds from him. What do you got to say about our man Armando Bacot?
Two things first. One, congratulations, and two, cha-ching. And when I say cha-ching, because that's going to help with the next level. Because what we were just talking about, rebounding, and if and as you said, look at all of the past players that we done had that became professionals and that were great college players at Carolina, and for him to be the number one rebounder of all of them through history, that's awesome. That's awesome right there. Tip my hat to him for that. That's a great thing. But keep doing it. Set your mark. Set your mark. It's only going to get better. Go out there and get another This is January. Go out there and get another at least 200 rebounds, 250 rebounds before the regular season is over. Why not? Set your mark. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Tyler did when he was there. Psycho T, he went out there, did the scoring and rebounding. Set your mark.
Control your own destiny. And while a lot of people think that Armando Bacot's NBA aspirations are going to be difficult just because of his current projections or grading of his style of play, I will say that there have been players in the NBA in the past who have made a career off of just being rebounders. For example, Reggie Evans. I know that's a name which you did not expect to hear watching this show. Dude, Reggie Evans stat line every night. This guy would score 1 point on a 1 of 3 from the free throw line, go 0 of 4 from the field, but have 22 rebounds. And he stayed in the NBA for a really long time because rebounding is an art. I know you don't want to believe it, but it's true. Rebounds matter. They matter because they close out good defensive possessions and they don't give up second chance opportunities after you just grind it for 24 seconds to get a stop. You need someone that knows the art of closing out, boxing out, and most importantly, obtaining possession of the basketball. So maybe Bacot can find a way to be the next Reggie Evans and get paid millions of dollars to go out there and do what he does best, and that's get that damn ball after it hits the rim.
Yeah. And the other thing about it, Mondo, he's not a 3-point shooter. So that means he has a good mid-range game. Mondo can go ahead and knock that 15-footer down. I can put it up, say you take it to the show, go left or go right, put it on the floor for a dribble or two, for a pass or a shot. Mondo got a couple good post moves. So he's a good mid-range player. I think he'll do good on the NBA team, especially a veteran team. I think he'll be all right. Because if a team needs that rebounder, then shit, it's him.
And no disrespect to Day'Ron Sharpe, who was behind Armando in the rotation. That's part of the reason why he left to go to the NBA so early. Walker Kessler was there too, but it's been Baycott who still held down his position. If Day'Ron could not only make the NBA and get drafted after barely playing in that freshman's campaign at Carolina, and he looks like he's going to be around for a little bit. You never know. Like, stick with it. And despite a lot of people thinking you may not have the ability / talent / whatever to stay in the league, like, you might get a chance at it. And leading Carolina in rebounds certainly helps.
Yeah.
So as we continue to discuss history and things like that, the go-to segment on our go-to plan segment on That's What She Said is where I have Rasheed rank a specific number in NBA history, where he gives us the best team that wore that number, the players that do so. Today's number, Rasheed, of ranking NBA players is the number 21. 21. Let's go through who your roster is. And is it all big guys? Is it all little guys? Is it somewhere in between? What do you got?
It's a solid lineup. It's in between. I'm gonna start with the regulars first, or the household names. I'll say that. I'm gonna start with the household names first. At 5, of course, Tim Duncan. Big fundamentals. He is who he is. We all know him. My 4, Big Ticket, aka Kevin Garnett.
Okay.
We all know he is who he is. My 3, Dominique Wilkins. Of course, human highlight film. A lot of people might not respect a lot of the things that he did, but Dominique was a hell of a scorer too. Okay. My 2 was another Hoff who was part of the original Lake Show, out there running them, filling them lanes with Magic Johnson. Michael Cooper Loop. He was a hell of a defender too. I think he was one of the ones that set precedence for that wing defense with that LA Showtime, and that's what they said they had on. A lot of people think that it was offense and they just try to outscore you. Well, no, actually they just said they had on defense, and they made opportunities off of your turnovers. So I like Michael Cooper. He was always the nemesis of the Sixers. I grew up a Sixers fan, but you got to respect his game. Okay. And my number 1 is my guy. It's my veteran, my elder, great dude. He was a former mayor of the city of Detroit. He's a great businessman, and he represents, for me, the epitome of being a professional, and that's Dave Bing. Dave Bing had a great career in the city of Detroit. As I say, he ended up becoming mayor, I think, in like the late 2000s.
7-time All-Star.
Yep. And man, it's a phenomenal player. Y'all look him up. Average, I think, like 22, 23 points, something like that. But man, he was a great player. And just think about it. He was getting these buckets back then when it wasn't no 3-point line. All right, y'all. So y'all,
rookie of the year, and then won.
Roy.
He was rookie of the year, and then he won the scoring title in his second year.
Mm-hmm.
That's I feel like the respect the game guy of the day, because everyone watching this, they weren't born until the year 2000. If they're watching this on YouTube, for the most part, it's all young kids on the internet nowadays.
And here's the thing, though. Now, I never played against him. I didn't meet Dave Bing till I went to Detroit, and once I was introduced to him, I knew who he was as a ball player, but once I was introduced to him and got a chance to sit down and talk with him and talk with other people around the city of Detroit, it's like, man, it was inevitable for him to become mayor. Like he's so well loved on both sides, on that sports athletic side and on that business side, because he's one of the great stories of a NBA player, had a good career, great career, and went off to become a great professional businessman. Successful.
Did you think I was going to end this segment without interrogating you about the 21 that you left off? A current player that wears number 21? And you have the audacity to say that I grew up a Sixers fan, and as you're going through your front court and you're leaving off the new age Shaquille O'Neal off your best players to wear number 21, he doesn't make the team? What? Where is Joel Embiid?
Not yet. He got to bring one to the city for me. Big fella. He's done it. He has a good career. He's multi-time All-Star, no doubt about it. But you got to bring one to the city for me. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about it. Ain't no disrespect to Joel. He knows I love him. It's we talked plenty of times before in the past. He knows I love him. It ain't nothing personal. But man, big fella got to bring one to the city for to make a list like this. Some Hall of Famers on this list, bro.
I'm starting to sense a little new age player bias in your selections here. I have seen you leave Giannis Antetokounmpo off the 34 list. I now see
that's because they already household names, though. Everybody already know them. I just want to educate our viewers. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's not the way this works.
Respect to the young guys.
That's not the way this works. We want a combination of both. And I'm going to need you. Well, granted, you did your part in explaining why Dave Bing is on the list before Joel Embiid is, but the audience nowadays that watches the NBA skews very young, and they have never seen a single dribble of some of these players play. And that's not your fault.
True.
That's like educate yourself on history the same way that you would in high school and things like that. But leaving Joel Embiid off is.
Hopefully I just make the big fella work harder and go ahead and get that shit.
I mean, he should have he's on a team good enough last year and this year that they should win a title. And granted, he does his part. He should get an MVP at some point. How about this? If he were to win an MVP and not get a ring, would you put him on the list? How do you leave an MVP off an all numbered team?
Yeah, I probably would put him on the list.
Okay. All right. So it's nice to hear that you're still open to it, but
he's my sixth man though. He's important coming off the bench.
Oh, good luck. Good luck convincing him that that's a compliment. But okay. All right. This is why we do this, because there's always a surprise, whether it was Ray Allen, Scottie Pippen, Giannis Antetokounmpo, or now Joel Embiid. There's always something with you. And I like hearing why Dave Bing is on these numbers. So when we get to comparing all the numbers together, just remember this, because this is going to be one of the ways that we close out the season on this show, is start comparing the numbers and who would win a game to 21 or an NBA game style with rules and stuff like that. So, all right. I think that's going to do it for this episode. That's what she'd said. That's Roscoe Rasheed Wallace, Rob Perez, Worldwide Wob.
Sir.
We will see you same place, same time next week.